This presentation will be recorded and will be available on our blog, and there will be notification of that going out. So if you want to get any of the slides, you'll be able to do so. Okay, so without further ado, as I said, happy Friday. I'm speaking to you from Johannesburg. We've got a fairly cloudy day here. It looks rather miserable. It looks like Cape Town in the middle of winter. So I don't know what's happened to our summer, but anyway, it is near the end of the year, and I'm sure a lot of you are almost about to go on leave, or if you are on leave and you've decided to take a break from your leave and listen to this webinar, well then, thank you for doing that. And I believe we've just got site audio. Let's just see whether audio is returned to you. And see if that's back. That should be fine. You should be hearing me perfectly. So welcome to our last First for Cloud webinar for 2014. And what we're going to be covering today is Averiware and Skoot. And these are two products that if you get a web store from us, your very own web store from First for Cloud, you will be able to provide these products to your customers. And I'll be going through these products a little bit later, telling you a bit about them, what they are, what are the selling points around them, and also what are the price points as well. Before I go into that, I just want to cover a few things about cloud and where we are at the moment. Those of you who I might have chatted to before would have heard me say that the cloud is dead and long live the cloud. And I just want to put this into context as to why I say this, because most people think this is quite an odd thing to say, with cloud being so top of mind in the IT industry at the moment. And the reason I say the cloud is dead is that there really is so much misunderstanding around the cloud. People thinking that I had a comment the other day saying that the cloud is owned by Apple. And I said, really? That's very interesting. How did you come to that conclusion? They said, well, it's iCloud. And iCloud is the cloud, and therefore that's cloud. Other people feel that cloud is only private cloud, or it's only public cloud. And there's just so many different elements of cloud. It's really ubiquitous. And with that that prevalence in mind, it really just becomes a way of delivering technology. And I anticipate that we are probably about a year away from really not speaking about cloud that much, but speaking about the individual services and just how we achieve them. When we use internet banking, we don't say, I'm using my cloud-based banking. We just say, I'm busy banking. You don't even mention internet banking anymore. You just utilize a service that is available to you from your desktop. So another way of looking at this is by looking at Gartner's hype curve. And Gartner's hype curve comes out approximately every year, and this one was released in July. And if you look at so many of the technologies that are on the hype curve, and these are really the technologies that are at the moment really going to be the ones that everybody is focused on for the next couple of years. There are about 90% of the technologies on this curve that involve an element of cloud. If you look at things like a connected home, if you look at smart robots, if you look at 3D printing, prescriptive analytics, data science, the Internet of Things, all of these things, all of them have an element of cloud that's involved in them. But if you notice about what people are talking about them, they are talking about the actual technologies themselves and not saying it's a cloud-based Internet of Things, it's a cloud-based connected home. The element of cloud is assumed, and hence I really think we can say the cloud will be dead as a term in a couple of years' time, or in at least a year's time, I think. So Internet of Things, one of the main things that is on the hype curve at the moment and is really at the peak, and everywhere you look nowadays, people are speaking about the Internet of Things. We're seeing a lot of predictions coming out from the likes of Gartner and the likes of IDC. They say 26 billion things and worth about $1.9 trillion by 2020. There really is so much potential with this, even taking it to the level of being an Internet of Things and having nappies on the Internet of Things, so that your smartwatch can tell you when your child's nappy needs changing. One that I'm particularly interested in at the moment, having a 1-year-old child. So yeah, the nappy thing, having a sensor in there that can pick up when it needs changing. There can even be a separate device. You have the iPod, and for the nappy itself, they might even have the iPood device. So yeah, we've got an Internet of Things, an Internet of People, Internet of Information, Internet of Places, and all of this stuff requires the connectivity and requires the cloud and the applications that are in the cloud in order to do it. So if we were to define the cloud, and this is quite a useful bit of information to know, that if anybody, is sitting next to somebody on the plane and they say, well, what is the definition of cloud exactly? It's nice to know what the official definition of cloud is. And it's a practice of using a network of remote servers hosted on the internet to store, manage, and process data rather than a local server or personal computer. So that's the official. Of course, it involves all of these elements. It's infrastructure as a service, it's platform as a service, and very much largely it's SaaS. SaaS being software as a service, being approximately about 65% of the technology that is delivered by cloud services at the moment is really for SaaS, the application type things. But it differs. It differs from individual to individual. When you're speaking about the individual basis, it differs from company to company. Some companies preferring to keep things entirely private. Some companies saying we want a hybrid mix of things. There's a good example of the images depicted. You can see number 5 and number 6, where that can depict you've got a big private cloud in the middle, but the ability to burst out into these public clouds when needed, or the ability to use these public SaaS services when needed. A good example of that is a company might say, well, we're quite happy to have our hosted exchange in a public environment, and or utilize a service like Office 365. But when it comes to our core applications that run our business, we want those internal within the company. The main element and the main problem that that comes about with public cloud services is there are so many of them. There are thousands and thousands and thousands. In fact, you can take a challenge yourself and think of any particular issue that you have or any particular job that you want to get done and put that into a Google search. And you will have a piece of cloud software that will come up there that will be able to solve your problem. Think of it as I need to run a mail campaign. Put that in, online mail campaign. Think of it, I need to enhance security. I need to a CRM system. I need an ERP system. I need to share files, etc. And the list goes on. The average person within an organization utilizes between 4 to 5 pieces of public cloud software. So if you take a company that has 100 people in it, for example, that's 400 access points to the public cloud. And with that, the IT manager or the CIO experiences a loss of control in their environment. And this aspect of this rogue software coming into their organization spirals out of control very, very quickly. It's known as cloud sprawl. And there's the definition up on your screen of what cloud sprawl is. And 52% of IT managers and CIOs say that this either significantly negatively or somewhat negatively affects their environment. And the issues that they're concerned about is data security, it's compliance. Do the pieces of software that they're using fit in with the compliance of their organization? It's the network security. It's loss of control. They don't have control over this environment. Take Dropbox, for example. If a person is utilizing Dropbox in an organization and they store a whole lot of company documents in their folder, a month later they leave the organization, well, that data walks out the door with them. and that public data sits in that folder, or at least their company data sits in that folder, and the company has no opportunity to actually control the use of it or get it back. So it is a big issue. However, on the positive side for us, certainly being involved in cloud, is that this is not going to stop. In fact, this is only going to increase. If you have a look, when they asked the question and said over the next 18 to 24 months, are you going to be using more, somewhat more, considerably more cloud software? The vast majority said yes, they are. 39% said somewhat more, 31% said more, and 12% said considerably more. So the answer is not to outlaw cloud software within your organization. The answer is to find some way of allowing people access to the software and maintaining some control in the IT department around this. So this image, what you see here is really what your customers are experiencing. They're experiencing this mess of multiple support numbers, multiple contracts, multiple bills for every cloud service they use, and multiple logins. It goes on and on and on. Now I'm just putting in some really familiar names, but the amount of smaller applications that are out there that people are utilizing is huge as well. So the IT manager really feels somewhat like this chap over here, where all this cloud software is coming at him, and they don't know what to do about it. They don't know what they should let in, what they should allow people to use, and what they should be outlawing as well. So with First for Cloud and the First for Cloud solution, we give you the ability to simplify this picture for your customer. We give you the ability to say, right, what we do is we aggregate all of these cloud services into the First for Cloud catalog. We then give you, our reseller, the ability to get your own branded web store. So your branding, you then pick and choose from the First for Cloud catalog what cloud services you want to put in your web store. Then you go to your customer and you say, anytime you are looking for a piece of cloud software, or anybody in your organization is, they can go to our website, they can procure it off our website. And immediately what you're doing is two things. You are still remaining the trusted advisor for cloud software, regardless of who the vendor is, to your customer. And secondly, you're giving them a way of actually controlling this use of public cloud software in their organization. How do you make money? Well, in the typical way that you make money on any other product, it's through the margin that you get. Now margins across products range from anywhere from 8% to up to 37% in some of the products. So the commoditized products like a hosted exchange, for example, you'd make about 8%, but you can make up to 37% in some of the other products. The other avenue of margin for you, and the other avenue of revenue, is through selling services. And here, I mean the type of services where, if you, for example, you're doing a CRM engagement, you can offer consulting services around that CRM implementation. You can do the setup of the CRM. If it's something like hosted exchange, well, they're going to need to migrate their data from their current exchange environment or their current email environment to that hosted exchange environment, and you're able to sell those services along with it. So First for Cloud allows you to offer the best of breed cloud software to your customers. It simplifies the consumption for them and simplifies the consumption for the company, giving them back the control. It's one bill regardless of how many pieces of cloud software they consume. So you can imagine if they're using 10 different elements of cloud software, they would normally be receiving 10 bills. And here you can provide them with one bill that they don't have to pay on a credit card. If you've given them an account, they can pay for it as a normal account. And the same goes for you. We will bill you once a month for all the cloud services that are consumed. You're giving your customer the ability to manage their users, that if that person leaves the organization, they can disconnect them from all the cloud services at the click of a button. really putting them back in control. They have the ability to compare services, and most importantly, it's the one relationship, which is your relationship with the customer. You don't have to lose them to another vendor. You can supply all of these cloud services to them. So here essentially is what a web store looks like. It's your branding. It's the ability for you to provide best of breed and enhance that value to your customer. It takes about 30 days to launch a web store. We require your branding. We require your choice of color palette. And it can be up and running in about 30 days, giving you the ability to cross-sell, upsell to your current customers, access to new markets as you do your online marketing, etc. And most importantly, you own your customers. So in 30 days, you can start building your cloud annuity revenue stream. Here's another typical example of another one of our web stores, labeled Incredible Cloud. And in case you're wondering, no, it's not Incredible Connection Store. It's just an example of one. And here they've got McAfee as the featured service. And there's some other popular services that change on the fly, depending on what people are looking at any point in time. Right, so now I want to move into the two products in question, that being Skoot and Averiware, and we're going to kick off with Averiware, which says it's the anytime, anywhere business solution. So Averiware essentially is ERP software for the small to medium business. And it is powerful enough to allow your customers to actually run their entire business on it. It has, you'll really be surprised at the modules that it has. When I first looked at Averiware, I thought surely they're going to be charging per module on this particular piece of software. That it's not possible that they could be giving all of the stuff away for a single fee. And indeed they are. As in typical cloud environment, it sets people free from the office. They can utilize it anywhere as long as they have an internet connection, thereby allowing the people to become more productive because it's in real time. So if you just take the CRM element component of it, as somebody updates something in the organization, it's live for everybody else. As they update a sales funnel, it's live. There's no need for them to run a batch processing on anything at the end of the day or wait for the whole system to update. It is live, and reports would therefore be live. You don't need to be an IT expert. So if you sell this on to any of your customers, all they need is a browser. They don't have to install anything. They don't need a server. It really gives them the ability to manage the entire business from this. It's secure. The data sits on Averiware's data centers, and if any of you are wondering where the data centers are, they are throughout the world. It's not in South Africa though, so you do need to bear that in mind in case you have anybody who is concerned about things like POPI laws, etc., which, by the way, does say you can keep your data out of the country, and it does abide to the laws of POPI in terms of privacy, and it is continuously backed up as well. Most importantly, like any cloud environment, you benefit from upgrades as and when they happen. So it keeps getting better. They are continuously enhancing at no additional cost. And the moment they do an upgrade to Averiware, this flows through. So let's have a look at some of the modules that you have in the Averiware solution. Firstly, you have Salesforce automation. You have a CRM system. It will handle your purchasing. It will handle your inventory, obviously your payables, your receivables. It has a general ledger. It even has an HR module. And then very importantly, it has Outlook integration, which is especially important if you're doing from CRM and you're wanting to make appointments, etc. It will flow through immediately into Outlook as well. So I'm going to go through each of those modules for you so that you can see just what is in. And I'm not going to speak about all of the features, but just some of them. Before I do, here's just a look at what the system looks like. So it's got all of the tabs at the top, and as I said, all of the modules are supplied: the customer care, supply chain management, Salesforce information, financial accounting, HR, and then obviously system management functions. And then there'll be tabs for each of those particular divisions. So in this image over here, we're having a look at the Salesforce automation aspect of it, and you can see you can run a campaign, you can enter in leads, you can look at your accounts, you can look at your contacts, manage your opportunities, view and update your sales plan, log an activity. If there are particular cases where somebody has logged a complaint that you need to get back to them, you would log it over there as well. So you have all of that information over there. Also the ability to share your calendar from the system itself. On the right-hand side, those quick links change depending on what tab you're entered at the moment. So it will have contact management, your document library, where you can have your most common documents that you want to share with customers over there. There's a timesheet entry if it's a time-based billing business, for example, if you're doing development work or if you're wanting to have somebody who's going out on a support call and they need to log a time, they have that as well. You can have your reminder list as well, and also custom reports that are in there. So from a Salesforce automation, it gives you the ability to manage contacts, your leads, accounts, to manage and share the calendars, obviously do your opportunity management, and you can have a forecast from the system. It will provide you with a forecast and a sales plan depending on the information that you are supplying it with. There's customized pricing and promotions management, so you can set pricing levels dependent on who the customer is as well, and you can do a specific promotion and manage those promotions from the system as well. There's mobile handheld device ordering processing with barcode scanning and remote printing as well. So for retail environments, that's particularly good, or whether you have people out on the road, they can access it via their mobile as well and do device ordering and processing there as well. One-click conversions from price lists and quotes to sales orders. It will take it through immediately through to the system. Sales and gross margin analysis with drill-down capabilities to individual transactions. So that's these are normally features that you would find in some rather expensive ERP systems. And of course some document management capabilities. On the CRM side, a lot of those features that I've spoken about also follow through to the CRM thing, but you can record and review current and past conversations. You can have a look at a satisfaction index, look at people's personal information that you've stored, customer wish list, and competitive data in one central location. You can email or print quotes from here, sales orders, invoices, and statements as well. So the access through to the full financial accounting, bring it through into your CRM system, send it out to your customer, and log it in the CRM place. Quite often, if you're dealing in a customer environment and you're about to process an order, as it comes through, you're not aware whether there's a credit limit. In these smaller systems that people utilize, you would typically have to get hold of accounts, find out, do they have a credit limit available? This puts all of that information at the fingertips of your salespeople with a credit limit and inventory availability warning. Very, very useful features. You can even force prepayment on orders before delivery as well. And commission tracking, etc. over there. And if you're utilizing FedEx and UPS, you can track the shipping through the system as well. Purchasing, it's the usual things that you would expect from the ability to manage a purchasing system. Be able to import the data, convert purchase orders to stock holding at the click of a button, manage vendor price lists, and here it's bringing in really advanced technology of digital signatures that are becoming very popular these days, where you can have a purchase request authorization, including the ability to put a digital signature to it, and get a view of your back orders and do electronic transfers of purchase orders to vendors as well. Inventory management. There's unlimited number of items. Many of the smaller systems will say, right, you can put in 100 items on inventory, but the moment you want to go over, well, we're going to bill you for another 100 items, etc. Here you have unlimited numbers. You can create inventory items on the fly. You can have standard and average costing. It does item serialization. and it can give multiple pricing and discount levels with a quantity tier. For example, if somebody buys 10 items from you, it can charge 100 Rand, but if they buy 100 items from you, it can charge 50 Rand, and you're able to set all of those limits. So some great ability. Over here they say kitting and dekitting of inventory and service items with automatic cost calculation. That would be similar to what we're aware of as or know as a bill of materials. Payables and receivables, obviously all of the normal things you would expect there in terms of collecting money and receiving money as well. General ledger has the usual things for a GL, and everything is integrated. There's also drill down from the GL, so you can have a look at a particular account, and if you want to know where all of those items came from to achieve that value in that general ledger account, you can double click on it and it will go through and provide you with all of that information. It even has some HR features, and that is the normal things you would expect from HR, the ability to track employee information, to link them with departments, to look at their salary history, to have all of their contact details, their hire dates. It can even do training and manage and track the training that people have done, and you can have a time card printing element coming into the HR function as well. And then I mentioned right up front the Outlook integration. It can synchronize with your contacts, with the calendar, email synchronization, and the scheduling of meetings. So this is really a very, very functional system, and I'm sure you would agree that it is. So you would, at this stage, hopefully be wondering, okay, well, how much does this cost? And essentially, it depends on how many users. If you're going to supply this to your customers in the range of 1 to 10, their pricing would be about 556 Rand per user. And just to put it into a comparison, there are some CRM systems out there that will charge that price just for the CRM component. Just for the CRM component. If it's over 100 users, it goes down to 478 Rand per user per month. That's what they're paying for Averiware, and you get the full functionality over there. The only additional thing that you need to pay for is the amount of storage, and depending on how much data they're actually storing on the system, that changes. I'll show you in the next slide. It has the storage cost per month. For an additional 100 megs of storage, it would be 56 Rand per month. For additional 250 megs, it will be 112 per month, and for an additional 1 gig, it's 337 Rand per month. So this is not a lot of money, and really you have to store a lot of material in order to get to those levels where you start needing additional storage. So I hope that you see a lot of opportunity with your current customers with Averiware. It has been around since about 2010. It has won numerous awards, and I think it has the potential to be a very popular product because of the great functionality and features that it provides. I'm now going to move on to Skoot. And Skoot is a file sharing application. It's typically known as a file sharing application. And here I would compare it in a way to Dropbox. And the main reason I do that is because most people are familiar with Dropbox. But Skoot is different from Dropbox. And how it's different is that if you are sharing files or saving files in Dropbox, you would need to put all of your files into Dropbox. So in other words, Dropbox works with Dropbox. You want to share files, you share them from Dropbox, and you need to store all of your files in Dropbox. So typically, you would save a file there, it would sync, you'd have a copy on your local machine, you have a copy in Dropbox, but that copy in Dropbox continuously stays in Dropbox. What Skoot does is it is cloud storage agnostic. It does not care where you are storing your your files, it will allow you to share it with other people. So you might be sharing files in Google Docs, you might be sharing files in what was formerly known as OneDrive on the Microsoft side. You might be sharing files on Dropbox, etc., or you might even have them on your personal devices. It might be on your phone, it might be on your laptop, it might be on your iPad. And what Skoot does is it has the ability to categorize all of this data, to have a central catalog of all of this data, and it knows where it has been stored. And then it allows you to share that data whenever you want. So the most important thing over here is the enhanced security features. It is end-to-end encryption, whether the data is moving over the wire or whether it's at rest at the Skoot file site, for example. Your files and your data are chunked, and that chunked data is encrypted, and it is only reassembled when it is opened by the recipient. Now, this is very, very different to how something like a Dropbox works. A Dropbox account, for example, you would move your data into Dropbox. It would be encrypted while it's moving, and it would be sitting on the other side in its normal unencrypted state. While with Skoot, if it is sitting at Skoot and you decide to keep it at Skoot, it would be only there in its encrypted state. So nobody would be able to just go in, grab that file and understand what's going on. Only the person who it's intended for can actually decrypt the data. Skoot is like having your own cloud. And why it's like having your own cloud is because it's independent of where the data sits. If my data is sitting, for example, at home on my laptop, and my laptop is opened and it is on, and I need to share a file with somebody, I can share that file from my laptop at home with that person. Now, the process that it goes through is it would encrypt the data, move it to the Skoot location, and it would then wait for that person to actually say, right, I need to grab that file from there, and then it would decrypt it at their site. Skoot creates a catalog of your content for easy browsing and secure file access. It's like a browser for your personal content with enterprise-grade security. So it would catalog every file, wherever it is sitting, whether it's on your phone, whether it is on your laptop, whether it is on your Dropbox, or whether it's on your Skoot account. So really, it is far more functional and far more practical than a service like a Dropbox. If you have something that is really particularly sensitive data, you can store that data in the Skoot Vault, which has even more protection. It has about 5 layers of protection, and only you have the key to actually access that data. So I hope that from the way I've explained it, that you realize it really is like your personal cloud, giving you this access to everything, anywhere, and to easily share these files anytime, regardless of where they are stored. You maintain complete control of your files at all times by never storing your data on the server in the clear. What that means is that you don't have to go and drop a particular file in a folder on someone else's server in its unencrypted form and leave it there forever, waiting for somebody to pick it up. That just makes these things exposed. There are various types of security issues that are involved with file sharing types. There's a man-in-the-middle security breach, and a man-in-the-middle security breach happens when, as you're transferring a file, there's somebody who is being able to sniff out the data as it goes across, and they can grab that data, and typically that is very, very dangerous if it is unencrypted data. In this instance, that cannot happen. You can't be prone to that kind of attack. There's also the kind of attack where they break into the service itself, and they can steal and view the data that is sitting on there waiting for people to collect that data or those files. And in this circumstance, all that data is encrypted, so they wouldn't be able to get that data as well. So other file syncing and sharing solutions like Google Docs and Dropbox require that you move your files to their servers or clouds so that you can sync and share them from their single location. And Skoot does not require that. Skoot says we don't mind where you are storing your data, you can access it. This is quite useful if you're traveling a lot and even need just a file for yourself. So for example, you go to a conference and you have your folders sitting on a machine or a desktop machine at work, and you've forgotten your presentation and you need to draw it off there. You are able to access that data and just move it across for yourself. So it's not only about file sharing, but it's also access to files for yourself. So if you were wondering about that encryption, I've just put up a slide over here that has the info security perspective. So during the process of sharing something, someone would need to log in, you would create an invite, someone needs to accept the invite, you add the person, they receive it. The Skoot security ensures the following conditions during the corresponding method, using the corresponding method and technique. So it makes sure that the user, number one, that's if I was sharing that particular file, is who I say I am. There's authentication and encryption. Then it checks that the user has send privileges, looks for authorization. The content of file F, for example, is present on my machine and where it's supposed to be. So it verifies that it had cataloged that file and it is sitting on my hard drive and not coming from somewhere else. The coworker that I'm sharing the file with, it checks that they are who they say they are, authentication again and encryption again. And it needs to make sure that that coworker wants to receive the content of file F. So this is about the PKI encryption. The content of file is then chunked, it's encrypted. It is sent across and uploaded to the Skoot server. And again, it makes sure that it is going only to the Skoot server. It then makes sure that it is in the correct location, so there's a separation over there. And again, when coworker X wants that file, it will re-authenticate that they are who they say they are. As the file is downloaded, it is encrypted while it's being downloaded, and then it is decrypted on that coworker X's side, and then it will validate that it was not altered during transmission. And that's important to validate that, because people can put in a bit of malware, sneak it in while the file is being transferred. So Skoot knows what the contents of the file looked like on either side, and it will compare that, and it will not decrypt or allow you to open the file if anything has been changed. So how much is Skoot? Well, Skoot is 55 Rand 95 per Skoot product per month. And what this allows you to do, it gives you 100 megs of file sharing, and it gives you 20 invitees per workspace, and the price is per month. So 100 megs of space, typically if you see that you'll be sharing maybe some documents on Word files, for example, they are really small, but max in terms of a presentation might be about 7 megs. So could give you roughly about 15 large presentations that you could be sharing in that particular month. And then obviously if you go over that, there's pricing that they can add on to that. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's presentation and that you have seen some use for the products Averiware and Skoot that we have gone through. If you are interested in setting up your own web store, please drop me an email at kevin.durman@firstdistribution.co.za. Or if you want further information, I'll send it through to you. Please do connect with me either on LinkedIn or on Twitter using my Twitter handle @KevinDD. I tweet about all things cloud and other as well, but mainly cloud. And I would love to connect up with you and hear what you think about the products, hear what you think about our concept of First for Cloud. And if you have any ideas or any products that you would like to have included, you can let us know as well, and we can see about getting those into the solution. If there are any questions, you can please type those into the question frame at the moment, and I'll answer those questions. So I'll give a few moments just for any questions. Okay, it seems like there are no questions at the moment, which either means you've all fallen asleep or I really answered everything today, which is great if it's the latter. I wish you all a wonderful Christmas and New Year and festive season, and hope that you all have a good break, and when you get back you all are keen to open up your cloud web stores and get going with First for Cloud. It's a great opportunity, great strategy to start off for the new year. So do give us a shout on that and have a really successful new year. We look forward to chatting to you in the new year. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. Bye-bye.